Hey,
Hello?
Crystal.
Can you?
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. So, first off, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. Do you prefer Matthew or Matt?
Matthew's fine.
Matthew? Okay. So, first off, I'll just get you to kind of just introduce yourself. Tell me a bit about yourself, where you're from, and where you're currently living.
Okay, yep. So my name is Matthew Vitale. I'm born in Southwest Philadelphia, and then me and my family moved when I was young, just over the bridge into South Jersey in Camden County. So grew up in New Jersey. Um, this is my first time in Europe ever. So I got out here in March, and I was playing in the Polish league for one of the local teams, very close to Wrocław, where I'm located right now.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I've just been out here. Um, I like to travel, so this is really cool for me, an awesome opportunity for me. I like to learn about new cultures. I like to be with my friends. I'm pretty simple like that. And I like to do anything that's competitive or athletic. So I just
Awesome.
like to be around good vibes, be on my feet, move, learn, and I'm very family oriented too. So
Perfect. So, I mean, I guess I also like I'm from Canada and I'm living in Italy right now, so I kind of have the same vibe as you where I mean, I traveled to Italy with my family when I was younger, but I never lived here by myself kind of thing, but I hold an Italian passport, so I'm like, you know what? Let's just go. Let's see where
oh
life takes
wow.
me. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of interested just how it ended. Like, how did you get to where you are in Poland right now in the first place? Like, do you have family that like allowed for you to do that, or like do you hold a passport there? Like, I'm a little confused.
Yeah, so no, not at all actually. If I got a passport, I could get an Italian passport
Oh,
because
sick.
my ancestry is from Sicily.
Oh
So
my
we have
God,
like
that's amazing.
Sicilian root. Yeah. So yeah, nothing I have no Polish ancestry at all. But it's funny because so when I was playing college football, I either heard about a lot of people going over to play in Europe or I've seen things, and then the ELF is really what caught my eye to be like, "Oh, wow, I could really um play in a true professional league over in Europe," and it was something that I was very interested in. I've been following the league for the past 2 seasons that they had,
Mhm.
and, I made an account on Euro Players just to kind of make a profile and see if there's any coaches that were interested and could reach out to me, and then, um, I heard from a couple ELF teams, but none of them really offered me the contract, and then I knew the situation with how close the Polish team that I was playing for was to the Panthers, and I
Mhm.
knew that there was a carryover and that they have pulled players from the past from these local teams. And I knew that once I got over here and kind of was just in the system and in the area that my name would get around and I would have a great opportunity to get pulled up. And I felt like just being over in Europe will give me a chance to, even if it wasn't for the Panthers, maybe it could have been for some other team in the ELF. But my goal coming here was always to play in the ELF
Mhm.
and have that play in this league and at the highest competition in Europe and have that type of exposure. And now I'm just a couple days away from the first game, so it's all working out
So exciting.
as playing. Yeah.
And I'll get to a couple more questions about the actual league itself. But do you talk a little bit about like your football career that you've had leading up to this point? I guess like starting at your high school level and then where you went and played in college and whatnot.
Yeah, so I've been playing football my whole life. I'm basically a four sport athlete. My whole life I was playing in every season. I play football, basketball, baseball, and I would run track. So like I was saying earlier, like anything competitive, I love to do it. So I've been playing since I was basically a baby. And I always knew in my heart that I was a quarterback and in my mind and I would train as a quarterback, but my coaches always just saw my size and especially in Little League, they would see my size and they'd be like, nah, you're not playing quarterback, or the coach's son would play quarterback or something like that. But in my head, I would always train as a quarterback. So when I was growing up, I was playing a lot of wide receiver, running back, or safety or cornerback. So I would do that type of stuff. And then when I got to college, or when I got to high school, my first experience really playing quarterback was my freshman year, and in my head, I've been a quarterback my whole life, but so I was pretty prepared. I remember I've always been like a student of the game, and I used to go to my high school when I was in elementary school. I used to ride my bike across town, and just go to the practices and try and learn their offense and all of those types of things, just so I could have a head start and learn, because I knew that my size was always going to be in question. And to make up for that, I had to be the most intelligent on the field and the most accurate and a great leader. And I was just trying to harness all of those skills from when I was little, and I always was mindful of that. Um, so yeah, then in high school, I started off going to a small school, and then we weren't really good. It also wasn't a football school. And then I
Mhm.
transferred going into my junior year to play at a bigger school and the highest level to play in New Jersey. And I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of success, but I was still undersized. So when I went to college, I went in as a walk on to play at West Virginia. And when I went to West Virginia, they were trying to move my position to corner, or they were trying to make me play wide receiver. They didn't really see me as a quarterback, and they weren't really developing their walk-ons in that program specifically at the time. I wasn't in any position meetings or anything like that. There was no hope to put me on scholarship, so I was like, I'm not gonna take out a loan and stay here for another semester. So I was only there for 6 months. Then I went to play junior college football in California,
Nice.
and that was a great experience for me. I got to start the whole season there. I played every single game, and we had a really successful season. I learned so much, and it was just really good to have that on the field game action live as a starter at the college level. And then after junior college, I was trying to transfer back to Division I program, and I actually had some like health issues. So I missed a year of football
Oh, geez.
for health reasons, and then I was also trying to get my associate's degree to become eligible to play back at the Division I level.
Mhm.
So I missed the 2018 season. Going into 2019, Temple gave me an opportunity to walk on. So I was a
Nice.
preferred walk on once again, but it was a little bit of a different situation. It was kind of like, yeah, I missed a year of football the previous year, but they also saw me start in junior college at California in a really competitive division as well. One of the best in all of California, really in the country, was the Bay Six Conference was what I played in, and so they gave me an opportunity to come there to walk on, and I was moving up the depth chart all year. Going into the next spring, I was competing to play to start, and then the sickness and COVID, it all caught up to me, and I had like an infection, and I had to get an emergency surgery
Oh my
in my
God.
2020 season. So I missed the entire 2020 season, and then going into 2021 spring, it was like my senior year. I was graduating from Temple, and I missed the whole season the previous year, and um, we basically wiped out our whole team. We were really bad the 2020 season, the team I didn't play, or the season I didn't play. We won one game.
Oh
Half
no.
the whole team basically went in the transfer portal. The morale of the university and the school, their program was very low.
Mhm.
Coaches were leaving, coaches were getting fired, so
Shoot.
it was a toxic atmosphere. And I kind of knew. I was like, Temple was really my dream school to go to my whole life because it was my hometown team in
Yeah.
Philly, and it was somewhere I always wanted to play and try and help lift up our city in the college football world. And like we played in the Eagle Stadium and stuff, so it was
Oh my
really cool.
God. I
Yeah,
saw
it was
you're an
really cool.
Eagles fan, and I'm sorry I'm a
I
Niners
know.
fan.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry about your boy Brock Purdy going down in the first drive.
That's
So
okay. We got a redemption game coming up this season, so we'll see who the better team is.
okay, yeah. I mean, hey, we didn't get the Super Bowl ring this year, so can't say nothing. It was a failure in the eyes of the Eagles. So, but
Sad.
anyway, yeah, we played there, and then after that season, then I went. Well, after the spring of 2021, they actually were putting me on scholarship at Temple, but I just kind of for grad school, but I kind of knew it wasn't it just wasn't for my football career. It wasn't the best situation to stay there. Um, so then I went in the transfer portal, and I was gonna go to Jackson State in the 2021 season, but with the paperwork and everything, I went into the portal too late basically, and I had to miss that year. So I missed the
Oh shoot.
2021 year. So 2022, but it was okay because I was coaching at my high school. I was still around the game. It was nice, and my family, we went through a lot of hard times, so I wasn't really prepared to leave home at that exact moment.
Okay.
Um, so then in the 2022 season in January, that's when I went to Jackson State. And then I was at Jackson State all the way through until this past December, and then I could have went back to college for another season, but I was like, I'm done with this college stuff. It's time for me to get out of this, to get
Yeah.
out of this life. But it was a good way to end my college career playing for Jackson State.
Yeah. And so I guess like you were playing for Deion Sanders, which is amazing. What
Yeah,
was it like having him be your coach?
it was amazing. It really truly was. It was I learned a lot. It was a very competitive atmosphere. It was something that I kind of learned to thrive in. He always was trying to put the pressure on you. He
Mhm.
expected to have a perfect practice every day. So there was never a day where he was content, because if the offense was perfect and was winning, then the defense wasn't doing good.
Right.
If the defense was perfect and was winning, then the offense wasn't doing good. And if it was just like an even type of practice, then nobody was doing good because
Oh,
nobody
shoot.
dominated. So
Yeah.
that was kind of the intensity level of every single day, every single workout. And he expected perfection from you every single day. So definitely made me better as a person and as a player. And I really went to Jackson State for something that was like bigger than football. When I was sick and when I was dealing with what I was dealing with for like I was in a hospital bed for 105 days, to put it
Oh
into
my
perspective.
God.
So I had 9 procedures and I had one major surgery. So it was a very traumatic time for just life in general. But
Yeah.
Coach Prime, before I knew he was ever going to be my coach, I followed him on social media. This was before I ever knew he was going to be a football coach, and I would always see like his inspirational uh, tweets or videos and stuff like that. And I remember actually just sitting in like the hospital bed and just looking at his stuff and looking for inspiration, trying to keep my mind healthy and my mental health up. And he was somebody that I always used to watch. And this was long before I ever knew I could have played for him. So
Yeah.
when I had the opportunity to go and play for him, I knew I had to be in that environment and in that atmosphere. And I just wanted to be around all of those highly intelligent people that could help me with not only football but life in general. So that's why I went to Jackson State. So I really loved the experience. I'm very thankful for it.
That's amazing. Is there anything that he specifically said to you that has stuck with you?
Ooh, anything specific?
Well, even like just some kind of advice that you're like, you know what, you're gonna hold on to that forever, and it really made that experience like fulfilling for you.
Yeah. So more so, it was just the energy level. It was like the feeling. It wasn't even anything specific that I can think of off the top of my head. It was because there was so much of it.
Right.
There's so much of it. I guess our mantra, I'll say, it was "I believe." It's as
Right.
simple as that. It's like I believe, and that kind of stemmed everything in our program. And it was kind of like I believe in. First of all, it was like he was very spiritual, so it was like I believe in God. I believe that all things are like working for the greater good. That's
Mhm.
something that I could take. I believe in myself, in my teammates, and my coaches, in where I'm at, and me being right where I'm supposed to be, right in this present moment. And that was something that really helped me. I think in just being in the present moment and not looking ahead at things or not looking at my past and struggling with things and traumatic moments, but using them to fuel you and to like learn from everything.
Mhm.
So I believe it's probably it's the single greatest thing I could probably take from it. And just like I have it on my shirts and stuff still. Like
Yeah.
I believe it's very simple, but it has a lot of avenues and meanings that you can apply to everything.
Amazing. Sorry, I have a baby and she's just making noises.
Oh,
If you hear something, that's what it is, but she's doing okay so far. This is my first interview I've done with her because I'm on
it's
maternity leave
okay.
right
She's
now.
more
So
than welcome.
uh,
It's awesome.
she's just
Congratulations,
wanting to
by
be a
the
part of everything, but it's yeah. So if you hear some kind of noise, that's her.
way.
Anyways, that's very Ted Lasso vibes with the believe. I love that. And then I guess like this is also something I saw, and I don't know if this has something to do with being with Deion Sanders at all, but like you're also a Barstool Sports athlete, which is awesome. Can like for
Yeah.
anybody that doesn't know, I guess like what that entails, can you give us the lowdown on that?
Yeah, so Barstool Sports, I guess it was 2 years ago, they kind of did a thing where almost anybody could be a Barstool Sports athlete. It was kind of like just apply and see what happens and then follow through, follow suit. So the Barstool Sports athlete thing was more of like when we were at Jackson State the year before in 2021, Barstool did a like a documentary featuring Jackson State. So
Ooh.
they wanted all of us to put it in our bios if you were actually a Barstool Sports athlete. Nothing more than just giving us some apparel and some
Yeah,
clothes. Like
that's
that's
so
all it was
cool.
really. I got a hoodie. But it was cool just to kind of say, oh yeah, Barstool Sports athlete. But I will say with the NIL deals at Jackson State, um, they helped us with a lot of that stuff. And I had like my eyes open to kind of like the business side of football and everything, that all the marketing, because Deion Sanders is like marketed himself before marketing was even a thing for athletes. And
Yeah.
from being a corner to doing the prime time thing and being the highest paid corner in the history of football, like all that type of stuff, like would open my eyes. And actually he sent me to um Atlanta, me and four of my teammates and like three other girls that are in our program. He sent us to Atlanta to go to a sports business symposium that
Ooh.
ESPN was like hosting
Yeah.
at the time. And they actually do it every year now. And it was like you go down there and you sit and listen to for like 3 or 4 days, like all these different ESPN speakers or motivational stuff, or just things that you can learn about business and marketing yourself and personal branding and all those type of things. So you can make connections. Like he helped me make connections through that he probably doesn't even know I know, but like we have a whole entire group chat with like over 500 students or people
Wow.
working at ESPN that if I needed anything, I could just reach out to them. But they always put like post job postings in the group chat and resume help, all that type of stuff. So that was something that I got out of going there too.
That's incredible. And then, okay, so I guess you touched on it a bit. You were in the hospital for 105 days. This is actually something when I was researching about you and everything, I kind of saw, and this is something I didn't know if you were wanting to talk about or not, but you have kind of already alluded to it. So I will ask, I guess like when you were going through everything that you went through, what was the main thing that kept you going?
Um, yeah, it's funny because it's not really put out there too much, and it's also like something I'm like, do I want to put it out there because then people are going to use it against me in a way? But I'm like, first of all, I don't even care anymore because everybody goes through their own struggles or their own traumatic experiences that you might never even hear about. So for me to come out on the other side of it, I know like I realized probably like a couple months after this all this stuff happened to me, maybe like a year after, that I need to speak on it and I need to put it out there because I came out on the other side of it so I can help a lot of people now. And but when I was going through it, the thing that was most important that helped me the most was being neutral, like having like a neutral mindset. And it was something that I kept every single day because I had pain in places I didn't even know I could have pain. Mentally was one of the hardest things for me because I was in a very bad, dark moments. I had like pain medicine withdrawals.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh,
my
shoot.
body became dependent to the pain medicine. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a really hard moment for me. Like when your body becomes dependent on something else that is terrible for you,
Right.
basically. But I would stay neutral and I would, because people used to be like, "Oh, stay positive. You gotta stay positive." It's like, how am I supposed to be positive when I have tubes in my body and I can't stand up straight, I can't walk, I'm not allowed to eat,
God.
and I had like a giant gash throughout my stomach and my abdomen. I couldn't laugh because it would hurt, like
Oh
all
my
that type
God.
of stuff. Because I had to get about like 15 inches of my intestine removed, which
Wow.
isn't that. It sounds worse than it really is, but you have so much intestine, so I'm
Yeah.
okay. It was just
It's
that
still
was the
pretty bad
infection.
though.
Yeah, it was. That was just where the infected part was on me. But yeah, I would stay neutral and I would I couldn't be positive. I just couldn't. There were some things where I could find little victories and I could entertain myself and
Mm.
try and be positive through those things, but the majority of my day it was a negative situation. And um it was a negative situation, but just because my situation was negative, it didn't mean that I had to let my being become negative and like my circumstances that surrounded me become negative. Um, so I just stayed neutral and I avoided feeling negative. And whenever there was something that was bad that was happening, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, like this sucks. I wouldn't talk to myself like that. I would just say, okay, I would accept it for what it was.
Mhm.
I would see it exactly for what it was, but I would try and find solutions for myself. And you can apply that to anything in life. Like if you just avoid negative self-talk, and it's definitely something you have to train, because I think we're all accustomed to, feeling bad or down about ourselves sometimes. So it's not that it didn't happen, but it was acknowledging that it happened. And whenever I was in a crappy situation, to just accept that I was in a crappy situation and not try and be like, oh, fake it or look around it. Like it is what it is. Accept it for what it is. But what can I do to fix this? So it was something simple as like, okay, I'm hurt laying like this. I can't sit like this anymore. Let me, instead of just crying about it to myself or feeling bad, or let me try and move in a different position and try and do something. So it was like little moment to moment battles for days and days and days, but really it made my mind so strong. And then I started overcoming it, and I could start seeing progress, and that's when the tide kind of started to change for me. And
That's
then
amazing.
when you're at when I got out of that, out of the hospital and stuff, and even when I was getting healthier and had a different way of recovering, that's kind of when my mental took a plunge, because when you're going through a traumatic experience, you don't always see it for being a traumatic experience. I had like the post the post effect of it, and
Yeah.
then I started questioning everything, like why, like getting in my own head again, like why is this happening? I couldn't even function correctly. I didn't feel like myself. Like I was hurt to my core. And to make matters worse, something that was hard for my family that I mentioned was that because my father had a stroke while I
Oh,
was in the hospital. So like 2 months while I was in the hospital, then my dad had a stroke and he lost all mobility on his left side. So even seeing him go through that type of stuff and his recovery, it was a crazy time. It was like surreal. It didn't feel like it was real life. But now I can talk about it because we had so many people, family, friends, people we didn't even know, helping us and looking out for us. And there was so much good that came out of it, even though it sounds like a terrible story. Like so many people rallied around for us. We as a family came together and became even stronger in ways that you didn't know you could, because we didn't know
mhm.
we had to, because we weren't tested by anything like that yet. And it was kind of just like looking back on it now, it's like we all know we got through this stuff together. And yeah, we still carry some scars with us and stuff like that, but it just makes you appreciate every single day more, and life is truly really precious.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's
So now I'm
beautiful.
here in Poland just playing football.
And so like going, I guess, through all that and like especially with your family by your side and everything, did it kind of push you to be where you are now in Poland?
It definitely did, in a way of something I always think is just life is so precious. So when you have an opportunity to do something and learn and grow, it's like I can't pass it up to just keep pressing forward, because you truly never know when your last day can be. And we've seen this as a family, and I've experienced it in my daily life. So it's kind of like something my mom always wanted me to do was to travel, and she thought it was she didn't want me to be closed minded. She wanted me to learn and kind of see things. And so I feel like in a way when I coming out to Poland, and yeah, I'm playing football. If like football is like my dream, it's always bigger than football, because the people that like football is just the game, but the people that you meet along the way are the people are things that you remember the most, really. And if you can win and be really good at football, then you just create more opportunity for yourself. It's and Coming out here, I think, is kind of like I feel like I'm making my family proud, because it's something that I'm carrying on, like a legacy of doing something that, we're not supposed to be doing this. We have very humble beginnings. Like we grew up, like my mom is from Southwest Philly. Like she grew up in a little row home. Like I was born into the row home. I lived in two of the little row homes when I
Oh
was
my
from. Like
God.
I don't forget where I'm from. Like I was playing football on a little baseball field with glass on it when I was like 4 or 5 years old. So it's like things like that. And then I was able to go see my sister in Venice, and like I was saying, like we have like the Sicilian heritage. So just to see her in Italy was so cool for me. It was like, I can't believe this is happening, because it's just very shortly ago. It was like we didn't know if I was like what the outcome was going to be with life in general. So now that we got to see each other over here, it was like amazing to us. So We
That's
definitely don't take it for granted as a family. It's
yeah.
still like I'm still trying to compartmentalize everything. I just kind of live in the moment of and try and dominate my days and like stack my days and make the most of them. And then when I look back on it, I'll have more answers. But like even how the way I was talking about like Jackson State, like I couldn't have talked about it when I was there because I was living in it. And now that I was removed from it, I got to kind of see everything for what it was. And it was like, wow, it was an amazing experience. And I feel the same way about this place right now where I am and getting ready to go into the ELF season. So
Awesome. So, okay, yes, let's get on to the more positive stuff. It's really awesome that like you guys got through what you went through, and I'm so glad that you're here today. So amazing. Give yourself some props. But yeah, I guess looking at the ELF season. So, to anybody that doesn't know, what is the European League of Football?
okay, so it's the highest level of professional football in Europe. Um, Made up of 17 different teams, I believe, in like eight countries, 8 or 9 countries.
Mhm.
So it kind of takes the best of every single country, and they go head to head against each other. And I think we have 3 conferences right now. 6 teams are going to make the playoffs, and we're all kind of just playing in the third season to become the best team in all of Europe. So it's a really cool thing to be a part of. I think just traveling and playing against other countries is amazing to do because it's kind of uncommon to do that in Europe. Most teams in Europe just play against their own country,
Mhm.
in like their inner country leagues. So this is just something that it has a true professional feel to it from the coverage and the way that um, they they promote the league, and the quality of play is at an extremely high level, and it's probably the highest level that Europe's ever seen before, maybe besides like NFL Europe back
Yeah.
in years and years ago. But it has that type of feel to it, and it's a really fun league that's just continuing to grow, and I love being a part of it.
And you recently signed with the Panthers. I try and say like the actual Polish name of the team, and I can't, so I'm not gonna try.
Bro,
But
Bros, Broslov, Broslov,
Wrocław,
Broslov. So
Wrocław.
The W in Polish makes a V sound.
Oh,
Bro,
Wrocław.
it's yeah. When I was coming here, I thought it was Roclaw. That's
That's
how
what
I
I
would
keep
pronounce it.
saying. And then my husband was like, no, that's not right.
Yeah, Broslov, and then the L. Like they say, the easiest way to pronounce it is just say love, Vrolov,
Wrocław.
Wroclaw, Wroclaw,
Wrocław. Okay. That's easier
Wroclaw.
than what I tried, but um,
Bro, bro.
anyways, you recently signed with them. What does it mean to you, I guess, to be their quarterback?
Oh, it's to me, it's everything to me because they believe in me and they give me the opportunity to start despite everything else, and I truly was able to earn it, and they saw me for what I was, um, and they believe that I give them the best chance to win. So I'm gonna do everything I can to win for the city of
Wrocław.
Wrocław, and really just Poland in general because we're the only team representing Poland in this entire league. So
Awesome.
it's we're gonna have all of Poland watching, and it's something that I don't take lightly at all. It's definitely a big responsibility, but it's something that I've worked for, and I look forward to playing and winning every game is our goal. Literally, is to win every game week at a time and be the ELF champion.
And
That's our goal, and we made it. We made it clear in our building in our program like that's we want to win a championship.
and what's your team and your teammates and your coaches and whatnot like?
Um, so Coach Christensen, our head coach, he has a lot of experience coaching at the Division 1 level in the United States. So it feels very similar to my previous school, Jackson State, with the way we practice, the intensity, the the pace at which we go, the tempo, um, and also like the expectation to be great and the expectation to perform at an extremely high level. So from a football side of things, it's intense and it's fun and it's a lot going on at once. And I think that the Polish kids weren't used to that when they first got here, or when our coaches first got here. But they've truly like bought into the program, and I've seen so much improvement from if you watch the last year's film, even just to watch practice from last year to what they're doing now in practice. Like the kids are feeling really good about about everything. It's a high morale going into the first game of the season, but we know, you got to win the first game, and it's really important for us to win against Hamburg because they're a really good opponent. Been in the championship game the past 2 seasons, and it's a really good test for us. And to beat Hamburg in the first game would mean a lot for our team because we've been practicing really hard, and I've seen how the guys have been getting after it. And it's kind of would just be like, okay, this is why we were practicing this hard. Now it makes sense, and it would just help everyone even buy into the system even more and keep trusting each other and our coaches. So it's a great atmosphere right now, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. And then is your sister still in Venice?
No, my
Oh,
sister is not still in Venice. So she works as she's like a singer and does like weddings and stuff in the
that's
United
cool.
States. So she took off and came to Venice with her boyfriend, and they went to Florence, Venice, and they went to Verona.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay, I
yeah,
was gonna say, I wonder if she's gonna come and watch you play a game or anything, because that'd be cool.
I hope so. I don't know if she'll come back out here. I don't know because in the summer she's super busy.
Yeah,
But I know that my mom and my dad are getting their passports. So hopefully
nice.
if they find a flight that isn't too expensive, they're gonna try and come out here.
Amazing. Oh, I love that. Okay, and then I guess like personally and professionally, what can we expect for you this season?
Oh, well, I try and play. I usually play with a chip on my shoulder. I'm pretty intense. I don't, not that I don't talk a lot of trash, but I do everything I can to help my team win. I, I'm a very different type of quarterback. I think I'm very creative with how I play. I'm very precise and accurate. Um, I play very tough. Uh, and I don't want to say too much stuff because the games are this Saturday, so it is
Yeah,
what it is. You guys gotta tune in and find out our brand of football and how we're gonna play. But I expect to win every game that I start, and that's my goal. And at the end of the day, if we're not winning or we're not getting the job done, so I know this is a professional business. We have to win, and if you're not winning, they're gonna try and look to replace you and find someone else who can. So at the end of the day, it's also business. I have a business-like mindset when it comes to these games. It's my job to win football games, to score touchdowns, and to make the offense extremely effective and efficient. And that's what I'll be doing, and that's what I'm looking forward to doing is leading this team to a lot of victories.
amazing. And I guess like this one's just kind of random, but if you could go back and talk to your younger self, like at any point, knowing what you know now, everything you've gone through, is there anything that you'd say to yourself just to kind of keep yourself going and motivated?
Hmm. I don't know if I'd want to talk to my younger self because
No?
I think my younger self would be extremely proud of myself now. I do. I still feel like I'm like the same kid. I'm just grown up a little bit, and I have a lot more life lessons that I've learned. But if I told myself those things from back then I wouldn't have been able to experience them for what they are for right now. So I don't know. I might just keep it quiet and just give my younger self a smile, and that's it, and just know that everything will be okay. I wouldn't want to, because the things that I've learned along the way, like when I was learning them and I was going through some times, like I can't replicate that, and I think I had to learn those things, and I had to go through what I went through. So I wouldn't even want to say anything. I would just have to smile and keep it pushing.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I didn't ask you this one. I skipped over it, but who's been your biggest inspiration, I guess, as a football player and then off the field as well?
Off the field, my mom.
Oh,
Yeah, my mom. And because my mom is like, uh, I don't know. My mom's just incredible. So my mom kept our family together and was like indestructible, and I'm pretty much like a spitting image of my mom, like from my spirit to the way I carry myself, and she really has had like a really big influence on me and like my whole family. I learned like basically everything from her.
Mhm.
Really, like she everything. I don't even know. I can't even get into it right now because I could get emotional, but I'm not going to. And my dad's work ethic is something that I can always take with me because my dad would work long my whole entire life. My dad was he was doing like handyman jobs, just kind of finding work, moving us out, help like my whole family really has a crazy strong work ethic, and we moved out of a bad neighborhood into one where we could grow up more safely, and I've always been aware since a little kid, since I was like a baby,
Mhm.
and I always knew what was going on, even though they might not have realized, but I could always see it, and it was always a great example set for me. Because he was extremely selfless in the way that he carried himself in life and working from like I wouldn't even see him in the mornings. He would be out at 6 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes he wouldn't get back till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So like 5 day weeks, and then on the weekend sometimes he'd be working too. But my family always did their best to um to be there for me. So they're really everyone in my family is an inspiration for me, really. And then football wise, whew, I don't know. I have a lot of respect and admiration for a lot of quarterbacks and how they play the game. Like it's the hardest job in all of sports.
Mhm.
So I don't really look at it with a critiquing eye. I kind of just look at them and try and pick bits of pieces from everyone's game and see how they play and how they lead. Like obviously, like the Tom Brady. Like you can't. I mean, to have that type of longevity, you can't question that. I mean, he's doing something right.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was always someone I looked to. Russell Wilson, specifically when he was on the Seahawks, when he was a
Ugh.
rookie. When he was on the yeah, because he brought a different type of style to the
He
game. But
did, I know.
recently, I've been watching some more Drew Brees than I ever have before. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, Drew Brees. I mean, but yeah, I mean, and then I always liked a lot of defensive players. I liked Ray Lewis. I like
He's
his
legend.
yeah, Ray Lewis, Brian Dawkins being from Philly. Brian
Yeah.
B. Dawk was a big one for me. Um, and then obviously most recently is Coach Prime because
Yeah.
that's what I mean. I got to be coached by an NFL Hall of Famer. So, but no, and then Brett Favre was someone I used to like when I was little too. I was a big Packers quarterback type of guy. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, but I try not to look at quarterbacks too much and how they play because I like to be my own type of quarterback. And there's every play is different. Every play is like a canvas, and you have the paintbrush to every play, and it's not always going to look the same. So you got to create a different style every single play. The way I approach football is a little differently than how most people do it, especially playing my position. Like I feel like it's like an art for me. Like my family, like my mom's an artist, my sister's an artist. I feel like I'm an artist, but I just do it differently. I express my art through football and through sport. So, um, but yeah, I like to keep an open mind when watching football and watching all how different athletes move and create space. And at the end of the day, the goal as a quarterback is to put the ball in the end zone. And there's people who play like Tom Brady, and there's people like Lamar Jackson, and they all have brilliance in their own way. So I just like watching. I'm a fan of football, of just watching productive football and all that type of stuff.
Amazing. Okay, I think we're almost out of time. That went way longer than I thought. I'm so sorry for
Oh,
taking up
sorry. I
all
can
your
talk a
time.
lot, so
I do
okay.
really appreciate it, Matthew. Thank you for your
Yeah.
time.
Thank you so much, Krista. I appreciate you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.